Catch me as I'm just about to do a little bit of coding for a Mythos Horror sheet that I'm working on. So this is for the role-playing system Cortex Prime from Fandom. The game is one that I've run a number of times before, and it's something I'm looking to convert over to the web using Roll20. Now I've got a few bits of this already coded up. Let me give you a bit of a preview on that now. So here I've got the player's character sheet, which is one of the example ones that I've put together already, J. Downey Harvey, and this is all the attributes, all the traits in this game are assigned dice values, and then you roll a pool of dice based on those to try and achieve things. So I have a simple dice pool roll here. I'm going to demo the dice roller. And we will do that by using our agility to roll dice. They do not have a specialty that matches, so I'll just stick a d4 in for rolling dice. Oh no, I'll tell you what, we can socialize. Dice rolling can be a social game. Coping mechanisms, how do they cope with difficulties? These are your distinctions. Yes, I'm going to say that role-playing is an expensive hobby. That specifically is in reference to this character's photography, which he's trying to turn into a business. But we'll say that role-playing can be an expensive hobby. We do not have an asset that assists, and we're not targeting anybody that has stress. So I'll submit that. And you'll see that we've rolled 3 dice down the side here, J. Downey Harvey, as an attempt to demo the dice roller. And that has come out on screen. That's good. Okay. Agility, they rolled a d6 and they scored a 4. Specialty, they used their socialize and they have rolled a d6 and scored a 3. And the coping mechanism distinction helped for a roll of a d8, getting them a 7. In the system, you would then pick 2 of these as your result and add them together. So that's would take the 4 and the 7 to get an 11, and then you keep a third dice as the effect. So larger dice pools give you more selections, but here we have a 3 dice, a pool of 3 dice, where we've taken 2 of them for our result and 1 of them for an effect. Okay, that's the character sheet, and it's fully editable, but currently locked off so that only GMs have edit rights on there. But we also have a GM background control panel. This allows me to do simple difficulty rolls, 2d4, 2d6, 2d8, 2d10, and 2d12. Oh, that 2d10 roll was terrible. Anytime a dice comes up with a 1, it blacks out to show that you can't use that dice. And it also either creates a hitch or an opportunity. We're not going to go into all the rules of the system, but just showing off here. But also I've got an open dice roller where I can set up traits on the fly, and then I can hit this and it will send. So I've set this up for a mob that I'll be using in one scene. Each of these dice represents a pool of pallid ghouls that will be attacking the party. They are a mob. Each dice currently is a d8, and as the party try to affect the dice in the pool, that might change. So 2 of them might attack the ghouls and knock them down. So the next round that I'm rolling this, I'm going to have the opportunity to do 2d6, 48, etc. So I can keep track of those as we're going through. Also on this, although it's currently hidden, I may need to hit the edit button. Yeah, there we are. So I can also track the contests that they may be taking part in. Let's just give that a bit more space. So let's say that they have been grappled and some of the ghouls will take the 2 8s that I've rolled in the pool there for a 16. They've managed to grapple one of the players. So we'll make that a total of 16, and we'll keep a D8 as an effect. So if I now post that, we can keep track of the grappled, and then on the next round, when we need to come back to that, I can repost that whenever I need to. So people can keep track of what the current result is and what the effective dice is. Excuse me, I'm a little bugged up. Okay, so I'm doing all this inside the sandbox for the development tools in Roll20 so that I can load up and replace the HTML that I'm using. So let's hide that, because what I'm going to be doing today is adding in a third character sheet, which will allow me to keep track of the Doom pool dice. As things go wrong, those black dice that we saw earlier, whenever a player rolls one of those, I can pay them plot points to buy that dice and add it to my pool. In the past, I've kept track of that just with a token on the screen, which I think I have available to me in here. No, I've not brought that across on the transmogrifier. Okay, no problem. Usually I would have a set of dice icons on here and I'd just duplicate them to show what dice are in the Doom pool. But I'm going to just play a little bit and see if I can get a Doom pool dice tracker. So what I will basically be doing is trying to code up as you're seeing it, third, but there are a couple of other ones that I've got hidden, but a third character sheet in the same HTML, and then adjust the display so it shows the Doom pool on a specific character sheet, which is GM only. And then we'll use the code here. So I can, let's fold that one back up. Okay, so you can see here, I've got a character sheets tab, I've got a catalyst, which is NPCs basically, the GM page, which you've just seen for the mob, and I'm going to be doing the Doom pool here. So I already have a lot of styles and things set up for this. You can see here, this is potentially the preview pane. And let me see. Okay, so we've set up 2 columns as my first part, and I am going to probably steal a little bit of code. First off, let's grab these dice, and we're going to make them visible. Currently got them set to hide. If I just take those out for now. In fact, we'll use block edit to take them all out from each row of the dice. And there we are. Okay, big ass dice. But I use these as tags for the fields. So let's have a look. I want the width of this to be about 30 pixels. I do know what I do. And then we'll just apply that. Yeah, that's about right. I'm happy with that. Apply that across all 5 of the dice. We only use D4 to D12 in Cortex. The D20 is not required, nor any of the other non-regular polyhedrals. Okay, yeah, great. So okay, I've added those. I want to put each one into its own div. I want to put each. I'll start with a containing div. This will set up my first column. You don't see anything yet, and then I'll have a div per dice, and so I'll copy those in here. Okay, you see how that's already affected my layout because I've put all of these in. Right, so I'm going to then do I want to duplicate now? Yeah, I'll duplicate now because I've got the dice in there, and then I'll just delete the ones I don't need. That's just the way I do things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My 6. Probably don't need 6. And then we'll just delete the dice that we're not using. So let's do should be setting up. Yeah, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is going to be the 12, and I didn't need the 6th one. I don't know why I did the 6th time. I'll get rid of that for now. Okay, again, now I'm back pretty much where I was before, but I've got these all in columns. Now I'm going to put in a second column here, and I'll probably use this for the controls that are going to send the content of um, my Doom pool tracker to the chat box, so that players and GM can keep track of what is currently happening in the Doom pool. So let's set up another div here. This is going to be my second column, and just for now, I'm going to put in some dummy text like so. And that should be in a second column. Come on, the mobile view. The mobile view dumps 2-column content into. Yeah, no, we'll do it that way. So the mobile view dumps 2-column content into 1 column for layout reasons on mobile devices. So just by making it a bit wide, you can see now that I've got that in 2 columns. So I now also want to add in a field. So I'm going to add in a input, and the type will be text for now, and I want to give it a name, and all field names in Roll20 are attributes underscore, and then we'll say call it Doom 4 roll there. And for now, I'll leave that as is, right? And then we will. I'm not going to duplicate that for the other fields yet. I want to get everything else right with this. So currently, I mean, I can't actually see that field. So what do I need to change for that to display? So what do we do for the GM page? The class. Is it a class? So here we are. Type, text, attribute, contest, name, placeholder. So I think we're going to start with a 0 value, put it that way. Can I? Yeah, I think it must be on the style sheet then. So we've got something on the style sheet that's checking for it's in here. So I'm looking here. They're in H2s, which I'm using in a very unconventional way, and I'm not particularly proud of that. So do forgive. But if I put these both in a H2, yeah, I'm looking at making my code accessible. Right, so still not actually visible. Yeah, why not? While we're at it, we'll just make that a number field, and let's see if that helps me. Okay, in which case we're going to do some CSS coding, and we're going to find GM page. It's not that one. Here we go. GM page input and GM page button. Paste that in there, and we'll call this Doom, and we'll duplicate that. We'll just duplicate both rows, and input, save that. So hopefully that should have made my, yeah, there we are. Okay, cool. Right, my H2, the column width isn't wide enough, is that it? My image isn't aligned left, that's probably it. Yes, there we are. Okay, right, I'd like it to be that that's more lined up, but we've got an input now where I can keep track of the numbers, and I will happily settle for that. So I'm going to copy that into my other images just so that I've got the right alignment, and then we're going to copy this, indent these in accounts, and C. Just checking the stream for a second. Yeah, I'm recreating each of the fields for each of the dice sizes. In the minute they're all D4, I will change that. Clearly, I just want to get my formatting in here. Okay. And right, so it's 4. This one will be 6. This one will be 8. This one will be 10. This one will be 12. Okay, so I have set up the 5 fields and the 5 dice icons, and I'm going to be able to use those to keep track of how many dice. I'm feeling that my fields are a bit too wide. Let's see if I can change that to... I'm going to take a stab and guess 7. No. Okay. That's probably in my style sheet. To be fair, that's in my style sheet. There's something probably defining the width of my fields on that. I'd like to add a little bit of padding to the left for perfection's sake, but right now that's doing the job that I wanted to do. I've got, so I'm going to upload that into the Roll20 HTML and CSS, because we did change the CSS slightly as well. So you won't see these pop-ups as I'm doing these file selections, but I'm just going to load the HTML and CSS files that I've just worked with, and that didn't work because this hasn't updated. It also doesn't have a node 3, and why isn't it showing? So see, this is why everything is saved. This is why I want to use the sandbox so that I can test this. Right, so it's visible on the right. So it should be visible. Okay. Should be showing up in Roll20. Take a look. The Doom sheet here is on display. Is there something that I'm not thinking? Mode value 3. For some reason, I needed to do that for the GM page. Let's see if that's an issue for this one. So I'm going to set a Doom wrapper. Don't see why. Maybe there's a double hidden feature. Let's reload the CSS. Still nothing. Visible based on edits. Damn it! I wasn't expecting to wow you straight away, but I was at least hoping to be able to provide you the basics of visible code. So let's see. It's just, I don't like changing the main thing there because I don't want to mess up the other screens. I did definitely upload the HTML for this, didn't I? Let's inspect this. I don't know if you'll see this on screen. Let's have a quick look, see if you're looking at the same window. No, it doesn't look like you are. Okay, so I'm going to just inspect the code. So basically, it's the code that you're looking at up here, but I'm using the inspect tools in Chrome to see whether or not there's actually any content in that. Okay, okay. So the div that contains. Interesting. So it doesn't seem to have uploaded the HTML. It doesn't seem to have uploaded the HTML. So let's try that again. HTML. Upload the HTML file and still not visible. Do a reload. That's not meant to be required. Definitely. Okay. So I'm going to get the Doom port. There we are. Okay. Oh, well, we need to work on that as well then. But at least it's visible. And these are smaller. So I can change each of these. And that should alter the attributes. There we are. Yep. Okay. I mean, even if it's doing like that, I could work with it. Pardon me. There's going to need to be a new role template for outputting this. You've seen the role templates that I've used already. So the difficulty role template, the player's dice pool, the opposition output. So I'm going to just need to do another one of those, which basically prints out any dice that has a value in it, an icon of the dice next to how many of that dice there are. So that's another part of this that I'm going to be doing. But let's see if I can't get these to all sit in a more orderly fashion. Okay, so by rights, the Doom pool would have maybe 2d8. Usually wouldn't have d4s in it because the d4s are there for, are mostly a negative dice. So let's set the Doom pool up so it's got values in each of the fields, and then we're going to do the formatting to ensure that, yeah. So all I need to do to get the individual divs here to adopt the formatting that I want is to assign a class. Currently we've got that, there we are, but I want to give it just one column. That puts me back there, and if I now re-upload the HTML, I should fix that. Yeah, there we are. You can see that loading. Okay, so the formatting there has been fixed. Let me just show. So I've previously used these in a lot of my character sheets that I've done for Cortex and for other systems. So cols1, cols2, cols3, etc. defines a grid layout in HTML and then applies it based on any div or other block displayed item within it. So if I've got a div here with columns 2, that's going to check for this div, which let's fold that so that we can make this point a little bit more clearly. So the one column full of my fields and the dummy text column are sitting next to each other. I could make this columns 3, and you'll see that's squashed out the dummy text off to the side and giving me 3 columns of dice. I think I have 4 coded in. Yeah, 4 is coded in. 4 dice. There you are. 5 is available as well. And then scroll to the right to get each of those. But I want those to be stacked visibly in a vertical column so that I can go through them in a sensible form. I am going to go with that. So my dummy text field. This is going to end up being one of the roll buttons. So again, I'm going to copy that here. Which one do I want? Let's go for one of the simple ones, because this is just a couple of dice, just to prove that the difficulty dice roll. I'm going to put that in there. Right, so we've got a very easy 2d4 dice roller there. So the class is sheet blank roll button. That tells my class, my CSS sheets, what to do with it. It is a type roll, which is a Roll20 tag, which tells it to use this to roll dice. And then I need to name what roll template it's using. Currently, it's pointing at the opposition pool roll, which sends dice output for. Yeah, you'll see. Right. So it's using the opposition template there, opposition pool template. It's checking what the first dice is called difficulty. I can give it different labels. Then it's using dice 1 trait. So here I would be looking for Doom 4. In fact, let's get rid of some of these because we're not using those labels in the. See, I'm mostly coding from inspiration and imagination here. I haven't got a plan for how the output will look. And that's on me. Yeah, that's on me. So I'm not actually rolling any dice. I need values. So okay. So what we aren't going to see until we upload it is what this looks like. But I want to call each of the attributes in this yeah, maybe I should have copied one of them. I want to be able to call each of these 5 attributes in this roll command. So it carries the value associated with that dice. And then I want to display the icon. I don't want to put the number in the icon. I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to confuse it. But a two-column layout with the dice icon and the number of dice in the pool adjacent to it. So let's fold again some more stuff. Let's fold this block because I think it's going to be more important. I said roll, fold that block. No, you don't like that. That probably tells me there's something wrong in my code. Right, let's fold that then. Yeah. Contest. Yeah. Position pool. Right. Okay, there. So that's my 3 roll templates. Let's copy one of these. And we're going to call this Doom. And that will need to be reflected here. As we call that Doom. And we'll call this Doom. Right. So now in Roll20, when I press the Doom pull button, it will call the Doom sheet template. But there's nothing in it. So I just need to, let's have a little bit of a header here. And we'll do pool contains. Right now, I'm quite happy to go with a non-graphical instance of this and have span name equals. This is this will just type text in with the value that's contained in the attribute. So if I do that and then put D4, and then we'll just duplicate that. Let's do that for each of the dice. And then here as well. 6, 8, 10, and 12. Save that. Okay, so that's a very, very simple roll template, but technically, that should work. Now, my CSS doesn't know about that template, so I don't quite know what it's going to come out looking like. Okay, there's my button, Doom Pool. I can probably make this a lot smaller, in fact. And if I go to mobile, it's well, I don't mind that. Let's go to the mobile view by shrinking this window down, and the Doom Pool button will drop to the bottom. Hey, look at my background. Right, so I have no D4s, no D10s, and no D12s, 1D6, 2D8 if I hit the Doom Pool button. There we go, the Doom Pool contains, but it hasn't put the values in the spans. So why is that? Are spans set to invisible? Oh, because I don't think. Do I have to pass the values? Can you have just a call for the template? Okay, so span's not working. Why is the span not working? Okay, show me one of the spans from somewhere else. Hold this. I've used spans throughout the web, throughout the character sheets. Here we are. So attributes, characters. That should be straightforward. Look, that's the character name right there. But they're in H5. So let's try sticking it rather than a P tag. Maybe P tags have got some style associated with them. And we should, I mean, I should be able to use a P tag to be honest. But I will switch out my P tags momentarily to give me, I don't know, give me a H2 for now. Again, not great accessibility. I apologize. I just want to get it outputted and just see, because maybe the P tag is not styled. But at least we saw that it was outputting. It's not that the raw template is dependent on the CSS to display. So let's reload the HTML, and that's the HTML file contains the raw templates. Okay, so yeah, I mean it's bigger. It's not helped. So what's it not passing? Again, I'll use the inspect tool. You can't see the inspect window, but let me just check the code and see what it's actually passing. Use the script attribute Doom4. Okay. Maybe I do have to pass it then. Maybe it's not able to just pull that. Let's pull up one of the character sheets. We'll have Trade Downey Harvey again. We'll go into the character sheet here. And then each of these, the name, career photographer, all of that, these are, again, spans. So if I apologize, I can't see this pop up. I'm using this again. Yeah, okay. So in a role template, the span name is being adapted by the code, by Roll20's code itself. It's having a clash of some sort. So you can't pass attributes in spans inside a role template. Maybe somebody knew that. Okay, so that method is not available. Okay, in fact, I can easily rewrite the dice names. So let's go back to our call here, and we're going to pass those variables. So open double braces, and we will have do for. I'm not an authority here, but it is equals. Okay. We'll copy that one for the formatting. Sorry about being a little bit bunged up, guys. Okay, so let's just duplicate that. So we're going to go with Doom 4 equals, and then I'm going to go Doom 4. So that's okay. So let's just go over that. Okay, so I'm creating a label called Doom 4, which I will use to reference in the role template. I'm going to add a D0, so a zero-sided dice. And that's just a hack that I use to get around some of the maths that Roll20 tries to put in. So basically, I'm rolling 0. on a D0, and then I'm adding a value to that. And that way it calculates it as a numeric value rather than as a character string, because it doesn't know from the data it's holding in the field whether or not the number is a calculation number or a character that happens to be like a number. So by doing this, I take the value of the attribute, and so at is the shortcut for calling an attribute from a character sheet, at Doom4 plus a 0 on a D0 gives me my Doom4 value. I'm going to copy that for the other 4 dice. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep. Checking my braces. So for 6, 4, 8, 4, 10, and 4, 12. Okay, so that's set me up with the 5 labels that I'm now going to use down here in my. So we'll go back to doing it in a p tag, and we're going to go for. I'm going to need to look at another roll template for the formatting, and it is just double braces and the attribute name. Okay. Yeah, it's a very long template. Let's not scroll through the whole thing. So double braces, do 4 double braces, and just stick D4 in the end. And I'm going to just go that one for now. Oh no, let's do this D6 because I currently don't have anything. Oh, come on, we're not that lazy. We can put them all in. If I get it wrong, if it's not working, we'll find some other way of doing it. 6, 8, 10, and 12. By doing it that way, these two are now slightly outlined. So I'll just do those 2 first. So that one was 4, Mike. 6 and 8. I don't know. I feel like that's going to work, but I'm not making any promises. So we don't need Harvey anymore. We'll stick this. I don't know. I think it reloads to where it wants anyway, but we'll stick that over there. We will load the HTML back in. You won't see any real change because these two didn't contain that request for those placeholders. They don't show the numbers yet. So we don't want Harvey, we want this one. Can I send the Doom pool check? And there we are. Okay, so I can reformat those so they're not dice results, because as I hover over these, it will show you the maths for the roll. But that works. The Doom pool contains those numbers. And if I get bizarrely broken about this and make it a ridiculously large number, yeah, I've got lots and lots of D8s. Which is not uncommon, to be honest. Okay, not that many, but you do tend to have a lot more D8s than everything else that's going on in the game. I'll set that back to 3 just for 3's sake. Right. Okay, right. So the Doom pool contains, and my output is there. It's working. Now I can start to apply some styles to this. So let's go back to so my roll template style is this. Excuse me, and I need to find something towards the bottom of the list here. Okay, here we are. So you see these? I want to add a new one. And I must remember to put that in it, so I'm going to duplicate that. Let's add that to my clipboard, and then we're going to basically anywhere the other ones are, we're going to put this one in as well. Checking through. Okay, maybe that's right. And if we go all the way to the bottom, we've got a couple of instances down here, is it? That's the mobile ones. Okay, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to re-upload my CSS. And that should now restyle the ones that are currently there. There we are. Okay. Yeah, but as you can see, it's horrid. It's this on yellow, and the offset for any larger numbers pushes the dice out of the way. So I'm going to try and get. Let's have a look. Back in here, what we'll do is we'll make a div here. Sheet two. So okay, and then we'll strip all the tags from this, and we'll give each of these a reason to sit in their own column, and that should fix my formatting issues. So at least as each of the fields may grow to fit more numbers in, the columns will adjust. Okay, we can see what I mean by that if I re-upload the. Why does it keep moving back? CSS is currently correct. It's the issue. Well, I've just changed it. Okay, so you should see these reformatted. Except you want. So let's send a new one, see if that works. Okay, yes, it does. But I want more digits in one column there. Right, so that was supposed to have a different outcome. Back on the trusted inspect for a minute. Okay, I've got another way around this. So rather than fuss about this, I'm going to put my dice icons in. I can get away with that. So we're going to go one. Get rid of the 4, 6, 8, D10, and D12. Little words, and I'm going to put these in. So I'm copying the images that I used in the field version, whereas what you can see on the right-hand panel of my preview here. So it should just put these in place so the number sits adjacent to the icon. D4 is the last one. Okay. Right. Clumsiness. Okay, so we'll put that in there. Hey presto, and now upload that. And again, you won't see that take effect straight away on here because those ones don't have the HTML. It would only change it as a CSS change. We can hit the Doom Pool button, and as you can see, we've got the same problem we had there. I thought I'd overcome that, but apparently not. Okay, so I also still want to restyle these. I'm pretty sure I've done that in the style sheet, so I just need to find out how and where I can apply that. Right. They're all in a H2 now, as well as inside a div. I mean, I'm going to give it a try. For this one, I'll just do one of them. Again, it won't change the previous roles because I'm just updating the HTML. So what I need to do is the Doom Pool test. There we are. Okay, so the 4 has now, but the title of the Doom Pool is out of sync, so I need to have a look at that as well. That might just be the 12 from the previous one. So let me go through and change all of those so that they are now using the same H2 formatting, as that defines it as. I might not need to put them in div then, but there you go. What I'm aiming for here is to have something maybe a little bit better defined than I've got there. So let's have I still obviously don't want the yellow background on for my white text. I'm going to close the preview off. I don't need that for the minute. And I've got a wide enough line of code here that I want to be able to see the whole thing. And okay, so that's all of them now in the formatting that I'm after. Let's take a look at adding that back in as new HTML. Again, no change on the right. I'm saying that mostly for my benefit. No change on the right until I send a new test. But there it is. Okay. Send another one. Just yeah, there. Okay, so the offset D12 was because of the overlap was affecting the positioning of the title. Right, now to change the formatting of the numerals in there. So what did I get? So can I do that? Roll template result. Or have I done that already? I think I've done that already. Nope, I haven't. So that would be where that thing will stick there and combine those class declarations. See if that will apply it for me. HTML, again, change on the right. It's not better, Mike. That's not better. Okay, so probably div here. Try that. I mean, it hasn't changed the color of the text, which is what I was aiming for, but that's the. Oh, sake. Anyone want to explain that one to me? Having a look. I don't have that, do I? So let's try roll template result, roll template container. Result. So this one should be roll template container. Okay. Just trying to get it to the point where it's using the same styles I've used in previous. Why didn't I do it? Okay, so I'm duplicating the styles that I've used in previous pools. Here we are. Okay, so that's coming close. I've got a slight error in my HTML there. That's causing some offsets. So I should have one in the D6. It's doing it into columns. Okay. So I have some sort of column association in roll template container has its own column styling. Find that. Roll template container grid. Yeah. Yeah, there we are. So can I cheat? Yes, I can cheat. I put in a dummy. There's the spur. Right, I put in a dummy div in between each one. Div and that. Div. You div. Right. This is just cheating for a second, just to get some code in here. See if my formatting works out. Okay. Save that. No, I don't need that last one. Save that. Bring my HTML back in. Hopefully fixing a couple of things all at once here. Excuse me. Okay, sending a new Doom pool. Okay, there we are. I've got that down the left, which I don't really want. But I could put the dice in it. Yeah? Yeah, okay. I mean, we're going back and forth on the layout here a little bit, but why not? Let's give it a go. That. I'm going to keep the no break space in. Fake padding as it gives. I can always take it out if I need to. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? I think we're going to get a Doom pool output showing how many dice are in the pool. That's what I think we're going to get. Okay, that should be in place. So zeros. If I delete these so they don't have a value in them, what do I get? No, it's probably not the time to check. But they are. There we are. Okay, so I've got a massive amount of gap here, but I'm okay with that. I mean, how many? Okay, so the underlying, yeah, of course it does. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. I mean that I'm happy with that. Um, yeah, I could really do with the gap here being less dramatic. But I'm gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna be fine with that. I'm gonna go to set that back to 2, which I think is where we had it very, very originally, and there we are. Doom pool contained. And that can be easily managed. If I give this its own name, I could even have. Right, now to get to the tricky. How to do something um, from one of the other. Um, okay. Ah, so where do I get a greater than? We're going to put in some logic so it only shows the dice that are in the pool and doesn't show empty slots. For that, I need it to be non-zero. What do I just unfold there? Okay, so I'm looking for. Okay, this was the biggest. Okay, there we are. Have a quick look. I may have to do a bit of research here because I can't remember the not zero. I don't think I've got one that's greater than. So a quick look through. So what am I? Yeah, each one of these is a check to see of a specific value. And I've got a fumble that I don't have. I don't think I have. I don't think I have the test that checks to see if a value, specific value. Okay, I'm going to need to pop here. I'm going to go to Roll20 Wiki. How much of this can you guys see? You got a bit of it. Okay. So I'm going to search for roll templates. Creating roll templates. Okay, logic. I believe it's in the logic section. Here we are. Okay, roll crit rolls, fumble, roll total, roll greater, roll greater. I want the roll greater than 0 then. Yep, checks the total of an inline roll for the value. If the roll result is greater, the section is shown. For example, roll greater AC16 will check the AC property for an inline roll that resulted in 17 or higher. Okay, so we're looking at roll greater, Doom 4, 0. And that's another reason why we've used the, yeah, okay, right, I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. Okay, so we need that. And we'll get rid of, well, I'll switch back. I'll leave that tab open, but we'll switch back over here. Okay, I'm going to get into the code again, and then we're going to look at the roll template result. We're going to put that in there, and then we're going to change roll name here to Doom 4. And then make it greater than 0. And I will just check the formatting for closing roll query. I think it's just backslash. Okay, but you do have to duplicate the whole thing. Okay. Okay, let's have a look. So if I duplicate that, oh, I've got to put it around the image as well. But that would be there, and that one needs to go here. And we'll change that to a backslash. Okay, and then we'll put in a new one there, and this one will be Doom 6. And then we'll duplicate those. We'll stick those in there. 6. Sorry guys, doorbell. Let me just put you on pause. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace. Just have somebody calling for that. So where were we? What was I just doing? Oh yeah. So I need to change these each time so that it closes the previous one and opens the next. Image and Doom 8. So I can paste in Doom 8 close, Doom 10 open. And again, Doom 10 close, Doom 12 open, and then don't need that line because we're not opening another, but I do need to close Doom 12. So if I am right, I should now only get the dice that have a value assigned to them greater than 0. So let's load that up. We're going to add the HTML again. And we're going to send a new Doom pool result. And there we are. Okay, so the Doom pool now contains 1d6 and 2d8. And if I increase the number of d10s and send it again, it now contains a d10. And if I reduce the number of d10s, even leaving the 0 in there, it removes it from the list. So that's pretty much me. That was my target for today, to add that to the character sheet. So as you've seen, all of the different character sheet variations are available in one file. And then I'm using an attribute in here to switch between those. So I mean, I can change that back to a normal character sheet, or I can change it to the, I think this is the catalyst character sheet, yeah. Or I can change that to the, oh, I missed one. I can change that to the, nope, something's going wrong here. I have made a minor mistake, haven't I? Go back to the CSS. Oh, come on. Up towards the top. And oh, hey, what's going on there then? Yeah, there we are. Okay, right. Okay, so yeah, I jumped a number. So we've got the GM control panel. We've got the character sheet, we've got the catalyst, and I've now also got a Doom pool control panel. I think I'm going to call it that, guys. It's been a fun demonstration of how I go about my coding, whereabouts I sort of bounce off of things, the different ways that I try to solve problems within Roll20 coding. Not that Roll20 is causing the problem; it's just my methods. I've not shown you things like the editor feature on the character sheets. I've not shown you. There is one other thing I was hoping to maybe get around to, but I think I'm going to be stopping. I've got to get into town. Yeah, the one other thing was that in the mobile view for the primary character sheet, so let's load up one of those. Let's get up Harvey again. No, he's already on screen. So if I go to the mobile view at the minute, it's not loading up the mobile background, which is an issue. I want that so that it drops to just a plain sheet of paper rather than applying the. I've also got the twist on all the details as well, you can see there. So I've got to do some recoding on that. But I'm really happy with my Doom pool roll template. So I think I'm going to call it at that. Thank you very much, guys. I know none of you watch this live, so I've got a request for anybody watching this on demand later. Could you please, when you finish the video, rewind for the convenience of future users? And with that, I'll bid you farewell.